رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. So we'll be comparing two verses, very almost similar words in them. Surah Ghafir chapter 40 verse 6, which says أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وكذلك حقت كلمة ربك على الذين كفروا, and thus the word or the decree of your Lord has come into effect upon those who disbelieved. Almost the same words in Surah Yunus. This is chapter 40. Surah Yunus is chapter number 10, way back in the Quran, verse number 33, which says كذلك حقت كلمة ربك على الذين فسقوا. Thus the word, the decree of the Lord has come into effect upon those who defiantly disobeyed. Why did Allah say disbelieved, kafaru, in Ghafir, whereas he said fasaqu, who defiantly disobeyed, in Yunus? Let's see the context and you will see the beauty of it. You see, kafar, those who disbelieved, absolutely disbelieved. If you see the context, this is verse 6. If you see verse number 5 and 4, it's about people who actually disbelieve. No one disputes concerning the signs of Allah except for those who disbelieve. So do not be deceived by the uninhibited movement. So it's about those who disbelieve. Firstly, the second thing, and Surah Yunus, it's not about those who disbelieved. Rather, if you see the context, previous two verses, it's about people actually accepting in a way the truth. They're saying, say who provides for you from the heaven and the earth, and who controls the hearing and the sight, who brings the living out of the dead and brings the dead out of the living, and who arranges every matter. They will say Allah. So it's not about that they disbelieve, they accept that Allah does so and so forth, but they may associate or do something else, right? So they do believe it's Allah. So it's not appropriate to say disbelieved, but those who defiantly disobeyed. The second thing is, in Surah Yunus, they're even accepting a bit. But look at Surah Ghafir. Surah Ghafir, they're absolutely not accepting. The people of Noah denied before them. This is verse 5. And the disbelieving factions after them. And every nation intended a plot for the messenger to seize him. And they disputed by using falsehood to attempt to invalidate thereby the truth. So I seized them. So it's complete disobedience, nothing, accepting nothing. So it's more appropriate to say they disbelieved. But in Surah Yunus, they do accept. Like I showed you, they accept it. The second point is the way this word is, the way these verses end. Let me also just show you this as an additional piece of information. This is annahum ashabul jahim, that they are the companions of the fire. Thus the word of your Lord has come into effect upon those who disbelieve, that they are the companions of the fire. Surah Ghafir. But Surah Yunus says, thus the word of your Lord has come into effect upon those who defiantly disobeyed, that they will not believe, right? So why is Ghafir ending in companions of the fire, whereas Surah Yunus ending they will not believe? And it seems that because the context of Ghafir is showing you the end result. So if you see the previous verse, it says, so I seized them and how terrible was my penalty. This is their end. And even the next verse talks about protect them from the punishment of the hellfire. And the next verse is about giving them, talking about paradise, which is the opposite of hellfire. Again, a final destination. Admit them into gardens of perpetual residence. So more appropriate to talk about companions of the fire. But in Surah Yunus, you're not talking about the end. Rather, you're talking about the evidences for belief. So the next verse says, are there any of your partners who begins creation and then repeats it? Says Allah begins creation and then repeats it. And then the next verse says, are there any of your partners who guides to the truth? Allah guides to the truth, presenting evidences for belief. So it's more appropriate to say they will not believe, subhanAllah. So every word in its proper context. Where they were supposed to say those who disbelieved, it says those who disbelieve. Where it was supposed to say they defiantly disobeyed, fasaqu, it said fasaqu. Where it was supposed to say ashabun nar, it says companion of the fire. And where it was supposed to say la yu'minun, it says la yu'minun. All according to the context, beautifully placed and selected words, proving the Qur'an to be the word of God. And so may God give us complete conviction in the Qur'an. This along with other thousands of evidences that this Qur'an can only and only be the word of God. May God give us complete conviction in that. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.